Welcome back to Range Anxiety TV, and today I've got one that's going to be a little bit controversial. That's because a lot of people can't handle the truth and don't like facts. Imagine this. You're in Mexico. No road rules down there. You pull up at a set of lights. Some young punk pulls up alongside you in a Tesla, say, and you're in your new AMG. Now you want to go, right? You really want to have a go here, but you just got to wait a bit. You hope the lights don't go green too fast, because the first thing you got to do is you got to wait till your engine's the right temperature. You got to wait till your transmission's the right temperature. You then have to pull Select Sport Plus. I may get this wrong for all you AMG aficionados out there. Then Select Sports Plus. Pull both paddles back to enter a race start. Flip the left paddle back to activate race start with your foot flat on the brake, flat on the throttle. And then sit there and hope that your 10 seconds that you've got to engage launch control, the lights don't go green after that. So you're sitting there going, and boom, the lights go and you're toast. It's bloody stupid, isn't it? And that is the inherent stupidity of thinking that petrol cars can be fast. They can be fast under certain conditions, in certain temperatures, on certain tracks, with certain tyres and certain drivers. And the thing here is, the only real fast ones these days that you can buy new have got controls that have taken the driver completely out of the equation anyway. Whether it's these automated stupid ass launch controls, or slick shifting 8-10 speed automatic DCT gearboxes, the bottom line is they're always going to be slower than their electric counterpart. Now, you can throw any argument you want here at me, but the truth is the truth. And there's one key word that determines this, and it's called latency. You see, when you pull up at the traffic lights in your electric car, the motor, power unit, drive unit, is sitting there ready to go. It can rev from 0 RPM to full RPM, back to 0 RPM, back to full RPM, back to 0 RPM in possibly around a second. Now you can't do that with your old dinosaur burner. Why? Because of latency. Let's have a look what happens. You're driving along. You're in first gear. You're rolling already. We'll give it first gear so you've got the quickest type of engine acceleration, or maybe even in neutral, so we haven't even got a transmission tied to the back of the engine. You put your foot flat on the throttle. Now, in any modern car, that sends a signal to the ECU. The ECU sends a signal to the drive-by-wire throttle blade. The throttle blade opens and begins to let air into the engine. That air then has to fill up the runners in the inlet manifold, which takes time. That air then has to make its way through. The intake valve has to go through the 4 cycles of combustion to actually be turned into power that pushes the piston down and turns the crankshaft. So you're probably looking, your average performance car, of going from 0 to red line or rev limiter at high RPM in about a second and a bit. Meantime, you could have gone from full power to 0 to full power to 0 as many times as you want, basically, in an electric motor in the same time. So you starting to see what I'm saying here? Right. Remember, the electric motor is rotational in the direction of drive. So when there is a slip event or a traction event, they don't have to cut the throttle, cut the spark, cut the fuel, which in turn interrupts the cycles of the pistons and conrods, and then, after the fact, interrupts power to the wheels. No. Modern traction in an EV is that good, you can rarely even feel that it's happening unless it's severe to the point where there's inevitable loss of control coming. So there's just another reason they don't work. And all these super hybrids coming out, guess what they're using to help push them off the line? Electric power. They have pathetic little batteries, 1.9 kilowatt hour, 2 kilowatt hour. Rubbish. But it's enough to get the car going off the mark and fill in all of these holes that are in an internal combustion drive unit. Let's have a look at one more thing before we go. The place at which the internal combustion engine makes peak power is one certain point in its rev range. Rarely does it hold flat, whereas an electric motor can hold flat. So if you were to keep operating the internal combustion engine at its peak RPM, the engine life would be minuscule. You'd have to carry around a pan and broom with you to sweep the thing up as it explodes, probably on a daily, if not weekly, basis. On the other hand, an electric motor can run at full RPM pretty much for entirety. So you get where I'm coming from here? Next time you pull up at the lights and you're in your normally aspirated car and you think, oh, I'm going to give him a go, mate. Make sure you're in Mexico for one. But remember, basically, in the real world, without a prepared track and a prepared set of lights and a prepared this and you sitting there, you haven't got one hope in hell. So best off, give up now.